We got a new wave of support from Magnadramon, and it's actually fairly good. Or she. Is it a he or a she? I don't know. I know Digimon don't have genders, but Angelwoman? Anyway, let's get into it. Best Digi-Eggs to run, in my opinion, is the Kyaromon. When a card is removed from your security stack, you gain jamming, which is what you want to do because yellow consistently has such low DP besides Kentaros that I could think of that has 13,000. Aside from that, they're all 11. I think old Seraphimon has 12, but anyway, jamming, you don't get deleted when you swing. So we're sticking with the Kyaromon, and this deck is really going to focus on removing your own security a lot. So, best egg to run. You could call this borderline a vaccine deck, which it actually really is a vaccine deck. So pat in mind, you search your security stack, then you can digivolve a Digimon from there. As long as it's a vaccine, you get to play it without paying for its cost. Then you shuffle your security stack. Then if you did that, you can take a card with vaccine in its trait from your hand and yellow, has to be yellow, and then you place it in the bottom of your security stack, which is awesome. So that is how you can trigger your Kyaro. So now when you digivolve for free, now you can go ahead and swing, you got jamming. Our next rookie in the lineup is, with no surprise, of course, the Kudomon from BT13. This one is a searcher. So you drop it, you get to reveal 3 cards from your deck, and then among them you could add 1 yellow Tamer and 1 yellow Digimon card with vaccine in its trait. It's really nice because the majority of the deck is vaccine, like I said, and we are running a heavy amount of Tamers. The inherit for the Kudomon, if there is a total of security guards between you and your opponent that add up to 6 or less, you get to give a Digimon minus 2000 DP for the turn, which is really nice. It does come up. The next level force here, we do break up 2 of the new Salamon BT15. This card is actually really nice. It does come up, but not as much as you think. So starting your main phase, if you have 3 or more security cards, you may add the top card of your security stack to your hand. If you have 2 or fewer security cards, you may place 1 yellow Digimon card with vaccine in its trait from your hand to the top or bottom of the security stack. This Salamon is a consistent way for you to remove cards from your security stack and add cards to your security. It's very consistent in you adding security cards if you have 3 or less. The inherit, I think, is pretty good. All turns once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2000 DP, which is really nice because if it's all turns, it's going to trigger on your opponent's turn as well. To round up the level 3s, 2 of the BT9 Pillowmon, you have Leviamon. What's the right way of saying it? Leviamon, I call him Leviamon. So with Leviamon running around and D-Brigade running around, players play Digimon by effects, and that is what Pillowmon prevents. All turns, players can play Digimon by effects. This deck doesn't necessarily play Digimon by effects, and I was running the Mitamamon on here. Because of that, I did cut it, which we'll get to in the level 6s. People are running Cutemon to prevent, gaining memory, if I'm not mistaken, but I think the Pillowmon is better, just like I said, going against those matchups that are fast with playing so many bodies on board. With Lugomon as well, you're just able to kind of stop that in the meantime until they pop the Pillowmon. Oh, this Gatomon right here. When I first opened the boxes, I had like 8 boxes. I only got 3. I was missing 1. I'm like, oh my god, this Gatomon is going to be a staple in so many yellow decks here. When an effect trashes this card from your security stack, you can play it without paying the cost. This is awesome. Just keep in mind, if your opponent attacks your security stack, it doesn't work. It has to be trashed by an effect. It has barrier, which is awesome. If you don't know what barrier is, if you're about to get deleted in battle, you can trash the top card of your security stack to prevent its deletion. And it is not once per turn, so you can do it so long as you have security. All turns once per turn. When a card is removed from your security stack, gain 1 memory. It does see itself when it gets removed. So if an effect removes the Gatomon here and it plays, it sees itself getting removed, therefore you gain a memory. So just remember that. I did have to do some digging around and licking, but it's actually on the site, so not that much digging. And the inherit is barrier, which is just fantastic because now all your level 6s can get barrier. And since, like I said, the Magnadramon has 11,000 DP, they swing over it, you got barrier, and then if you trash it, then its a main effect pops off and then you get to recover your security. This is so fun. We're going to get into it. 2 of the Angemons. So when attacking by deleting this Digimon, activate one of the effects below. Place one of your opponent's Digimon with virus in its trait on the bottom of the security stack, which is nice. It's a really good removal for, I think Fenrir Lugomon is virus, so that's kind of cool. Fenrir kind of lacks some protection there. Or one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 5,000 DP for the turn, which can also be good. On deletion, place this card at the bottom of your security stack. Then if you have a tamer, you may hatch your breeding area. In your breeding area. On deletion, place one yellow card of vaccine tray from your hand on the bottom of your security stack. You can run 4. There's builds where people run 4 and it's good. I mean, you have the whole Patamon and then it digivolves for 2 instead of 3, which is why I'm running it at 2 instead of 4 because I only run those 4 Patamons. I wanted to be really aggressive here and just go with the 4 Bulkmons. While you have 3 or more security, you get security attack +1. And now if you combine that with the Patamon, if it is in the security stack, now you get to digivolve for free. The Kyaromon does trigger because a card was removed from your security stack. And now you can just go ahead and then digivolve. Not digivolve, check for security +1 chipping 2, which leads me on to the level 5s. If you end up doing that with the Bulkmon, let's get this out of the way. Then with the Chirinmon, when you digivolve, you get to trash the top card of your security stack. If you do, you get to unsuspend that Digimon. So going back into the combo here, right with the Patamon, even if you don't and you're able to trash a security card, you got the Bulkmon, you swing security attack +1, you got the jamming, now you digivolve for 3. So if you pass to your opponent's turn, you can trash a card, and now you get to unsuspend, and now you're unsuspended, or you can just swing again if it is your turn. Chirinmon is really good. When this card came out, I just knew he was going to be another staple, especially for yellow, because I mean it does a lot of trashing on its own. And or I guess this new vaccine does a lot of trashing. But the in here is really nice here. When attacking once per turn, if between you and your opponent you only have 6 security, you get to place a card from your hand onto the top of your security stack. Basically, you get to recover. And it does have to be a yellow card, which is awesome, because you can put options, you can put tamers, it doesn't have to be Digimon. Recovery right there because you are going to be trashing a lot of your security. I don't know why I moved it. We're not done with the level 5s, but to finish off the level 5s, you already know. Waifu, Angelwoman, my goodness, this card just blasted Magna Ace. No one's running that thing anymore, unless you're doing 4 and 4, but this is the new staple, I'm telling you now. Pick up Angelwomans, especially with more Mastemon support coming out. This card's going to be just used obnoxiously. So, it's a blast, or ace card, right? You can blast on your opponent's turn when they attack. On play and when digivolving, by trashing the top or bottom card of your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 6,000 DP until the end of their turn, which is awesome. The Magna is kind of different because it's only for that turn that it gets digivolved into. So when you end up digivolving the Angelwoman on your turn, the minus DP happens until the end of their turn, as opposed to the Magna. If you do it on your turn, it's only for that turn. So it's a good kind of controlling ace here. But then the other thing here, all turns once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack and you have 3 or fewer security cards, you get to recover 1. So you go ahead and you blast on your opponent's turn, you get to trash 1, and even if you just trash the 1, and now here, if you have the Gatomon, my goodness, if you have the Gatomon, trashes it, it sees itself, you gain a memory, potentially ending your opponent's turn, or just throwing off their strategy if they were going to digivolve for 3 and be at 0, but now they're at 2. And now you get to recover with Angelwoman, and bam, it is so good. It is so good. And then when you have the Angelwoman over the Gatomon, you really kind of don't care if you swing, because barrier will kind of trigger Angelwoman, right? It gets deleted, you use barrier, and oh, look at that, another Gatomon that I don't have. There you go, another Gatomon, and now bam, sees itself play, gain a memory. You did that, and now you get to recover 1. So it's just nasty, guys. Yeah, that's it for the level 5. Let's move on to the level 6s, and I'm gonna be honest with you, you can kind of run a cycle between Mitamamon, Kentaros, and of course the new Magnadramon. And I was doing a split of 2 of all of them because I really like all of them. Mitamamon is good for aggression, but I ended up cutting it just because Mitamamon doesn't help you recover in any way. It's just trashing from your security. And it could help because now it's controlling against your opponent, and your opponent doesn't have to, they can't attack. If, it meets the requirements, it gets security attack -2. But the whole build here kind of focuses more on you recovering while you're taken away. and then being able to attack, or minus DP. So we're doing 3 of the Magnadramons. This one has an on play, and when digivolving, by trashing the top or bottom card of your security stack, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 9,000 DP until the end of their turn, which is good, because if they were thinking of swinging over it and it's a mega, well, I mean, now you can't because you got minus 9,000. Out turns once per turn. When a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer security cards, you may place 1 yellow card from your hand at the top or bottom of the security stack. Again, this is really good because now you can put tamers, you can put option cards, or Digimon, of course, so long as it's yellow, and it's very good. And then just giving it barrier with Gatomon is just like, you know, you can't swing over it. You just delete it by effects or, you know, options. To round it off, 3 Kentoros. I can't drop this card. This card is too good for it, so it's just good. It's good. I don't know what you want me to tell you. On play and when digivolving, if there are 6 or fewer security cards between you and your opponent, you get to gain 3 memory and then reveal 1 card in your hand. If it's yellow, place it on top of your security stack face down. If not, it returns to the hand. I don't know why they put that. They just get a yellow card and put it up there. So you'll digivolve, and really you don't really even have to use this late game because Angelwomon trashes, right? So even if you're above 3, if you're at 4, Angelwomon will trash it. You don't recover. Then you get to that Kentoros. And so if you're chipping away, especially with the Bulkmon, now there's a target of 6 in total. You digivolve, you gain 3, and then you place a card there, which could be the Gatomon, right? So now you place Gatomon, and now after you gain the 3 memory, let's say you go back to your turn. So when Kentoros uses when attacking once per turn, by trashing the top card of your security stack, you can give one of your opponent's Digimon minus 7,000 DP for the turn, and it unsuspends. And guess what happens? You just set yourself up to bring up Gatomon, gaining a memory, giving something minus 7,000 DP. So that's 7. And if it wasn't enough, before you end your turn, go ahead and go into the Angelwomon. And then if you do have another card, you'll trash. And now you're giving minus 7, minus 6, that's minus 13, if my math is correct. Yep. Minus 13. And then if you trash, you get to recover again. And now you can see why this is just so fun. Oh, lordy. So that's why we're doing the splits of 6 and 3 and 3. You don't have to do that. You can do 4 and 2. That's kind of more of the play that people are doing. Or you could do Mitamamons. Like when I was first trying the deck, I was doing splits of 2s with Mitamamon because I really didn't want to drop that card. I did like it for what it does, but I feel like I hindered it a bit because it's kind of like, okay, well, I'm either playing aggressive or I'm kind of playing defensive. And the Mitamamon does play Digimon from your hand, you know, to the board and gives a rush. But yeah, I just found this to be better because you recover your own security stack with these mons. Let's start off with 1 Emissary of Hope. Search your security stack. One of your Digimon may digivolve into 1 yellow level 6 or lower Digimon card with vaccine in its trait. Then shuffle security stack. If digivolve by this effect, if you have a tamer with TK, you get to recover +1. The security effect, you may play 1 Patamon from your hand or trash without paying the cost, and add this card to your hand. This is awesome for when you can see your security stack from, let's say, Patamon, right? Because if you have the Patamon, you see your security stack, you end up digivolving into a champion from your security stack using the Patamon for 1. Even if they leave you at 1, now you're at 0. If you ended up seeing an ultimate there, now you can play Emissary of Hope, go there, and you can digivolve for 1 instead of 3, leaving your opponent at 1, and you're able to decrease DP, or vice versa. If you ended up, you know, going into that and you've seen a level 6 there, you're able to use Emissary of Hope. These are all vaccines, so now you can, instead of digivolving for 5, sorry, there's a glare there. Instead of digivolving for 5, you digivolve for 1 if Kentoros is in the security stack. So let's say you're at 3, right? You got the Angelwomon, you play the Emissary of Hope for 1, digivolve for 1, draw, and now if there's 6 or less, you gain 3 memory. Oh, it's so dumb. And then when you digivolve, you can place a let's say yellow card. Then you place a yellow card, which would be other option cards that I'm running, which we'll get into. And that's actually probably a good segue to me to go into these Revelation of Lights here. This is so nuts. Right, so Revelation of Light, when in effect, trashes this card from your security stack. Activate this card's security effect. The security effect is all of your opponent's Digimon and security Digimon get minus 5,000 until the end of the turn. nuts. So it's a blanket ruin mode basically. And then the main effect, search your security stack. You may play one yellow level 4 or lower Digimon card among them without paying the cost, then shuffle the security stack. If you have a tamer with Kari in its name, you may place this card on top or the bottom of the security stack. So going back to this, if you ended up digivolving, you reveal this, and if you're about to attack and trash it, you could just put it on top. And now you're going to give something minus 7,000 when you attack. You unsuspend, you trash Revelation of Light, and now you blanket everything minus 5k, including the security stack. So you could give something minus 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, minus 12k for, and then you just digivolve for 1, really. So nuts. So nuts. But this card is just insane. This one is kind of meant to play the Gatomon because it's getting played by an effect. So you would see the memory and you would actually gain the 1 memory. And yeah, Revelation of Light, we are doing 2. I would like to do more, but space is a little tight. You could kind of play around with it. I think 2 is more than enough. We are running 3 of the physical trainings. 4, I don't think it's necessary. I get that it helps to search and it gets all your yellow pieces and whatnot, but the Kuromons are already searchers, and the Tamers, which TK, is also a good searcher. So physical training just kind of helps you reveal 2 cards, right? You get one of the yellow cards, the other one goes back to the bottom. Then the next turn, when you're about to digivolve, you get to reduce it by 2 by trashing it. So it would cost here 3, essentially for free, if you can pull off its Kintaros when digivolving. Or you would be able to digivolve for 1 with this Magna, which is good, obviously. So we are doing 3 of the physical trainings, and that's pretty much it for the options that I'm running. And now I'll leave my stack here just because combos come up and I get excited. So let's go over these tamers here. And obviously we're going to run TK. This one is the BT14. This one on play, by returning the top card of your security stack to your hand, you may place 1 yellow card with vaccine in its tray from your hand to the bottom of the security stack. And then your turn, when a card is added to your security stack, by suspending TK, you get to gain a memory. So you could see how this benefits just Kintaros, Magna, right? You're digivolving, you add a card to a security stack, you tap TK, now you gain a memory. So, I mean, you're further reducing the digivolution cost of the Kintaros. Up next, we still do want to run 2 of the cards that cost 4. These are the memory set tamers, and then when a card is added to your security stack, you may suspend the tamer to gain a memory. So this adds up. For example, either of the megas that you digivolve into, you get to add a card to your security stack. You'll trigger the Kari, you trigger the TK, and if you have Patamon, that triggers another time, because I inherited Patamon if I didn't talk about it. When a card is added to your security stack, gain 1 memory. So now you just gained 3 memory for just digivolving and or, you know, adding cards to your security stack. Last but not least is the spicy purple BT4 Ari, just because she works really well with the Magnadramon. Not even then, even just when your opponent swings at security, it's nuts, right? But just being able to, well, let's talk about what it does. So all turns, when a card is removed from your security stack, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. I was running it at 2, and it's efficient, it's effective, but having a 3rd one, now you're really stealing turns at that point. And if they end up swinging over your megas, right, or even the Angelwoman, they want to try and get rid of it, you got barrier. So now if you got even 2 cards, right, if they're at 2, whatever, and now because you activated barrier, you trash a card, and now you get to trigger the cards by suspending them, you'll gain 2 memory. And then if it happened to be Gatomon, now you gain another memory there and then pass his turn. Or if you have the 3rd Kari, now you gain another memory there. So this Kari is just really, really nice because it does help with, like I said, stealing turns, and it's kind of it limits your opponents to what they can do. And when they see the Karis, they're kind of like, okay, well, I got to see how I can play this out. They're either going to pop it or they're going to go, you know, balls deep in and kind of go all out and just get rid of your stack. Level 7s could work in this deck, but I don't think you need it as much. I mean, it could add on, especially if you had like a ruin mode. So maybe a copy of ruin mode after you do all these shenanigans would really help. But this is what I'm running. What do you guys think? How are you guys running it? Are you guys teching in this Kari? Or are you guys going all out with the TKs? Let me know, and I'll see you guys in the next video.